Guns are tools, and like all tools, they are dangerous if not properly handled. Everyone who handles firearms should be very familiar with rules of safe gun handling and follow them carefully. Treat all guns as if loaded. Never point the gun's muzzle at anything you aren't willing to shoot. Keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot, and be sure of your target and what's around it. All muzzleloaders should be aware of several safe loading practices. Only use powder in a muzzleloader from containers clearly labeled as holding black powder or one of its substitutes. Never use smokeless powder. This is a representation of the inside of a barrel showing a properly loaded ball resting on a load of black powder. In this representation, there are two common careless mistakes. On the right, a double load of powder, and on the left, a double load of balls. Neither will blow the gun up, but both will leave sore shoulders. On the left, neglecting to load the powder results in a misfire, and the ball must be pulled. On the right, failure to seat the ball in the powder is extremely unsafe and may even blow the gun up. It usually happens when the gun's bore is fouled after multiple shots. The only prevention is to keep the bore clean and the use of a ramrod marked for that particular load. A misfire is a simple failure to fire because the powder has not been successfully ignited by the priming powder or cap. A hang fire, on the other hand, is extremely dangerous. It is when the priming powder or cap has ignited some of the powder, but perhaps soaked by a little oil, it just smolders, or maybe it ignites a remnant of patching material in the touch hole itself or in a nook of the breech. When there is a failure to fire, hold the gun and don't move. Wait, counting at least 10 seconds, then firmly holding the gun downrange in case of an unexpected discharge, reprime and fire again. If the gun misfires a second time, again, don't move. Hold the gun and wait, counting about 60 seconds this time. Then take the ramrod between two fingers and simply drop it down the barrel. All ramrods must be marked where it rests on top of the load being used. We all recognize that it is very important to carefully follow the rules of gun safety. Some people who are only familiar with modern breech-loading firearms, on learning that I routinely blow down the barrel of my traditional muzzleloader after I shoot, react automatically saying, "That's not safe," or similar but less polite words. Well, they are just wrong. Muzzleloaders are not breech-loading firearms, and their rules of gun safety should reflect that. For example, when loading a traditional muzzleloader, there are inevitably going to be times when the gun is pointed toward parts of the shooter's anatomy, breaking a cardinal rule of gun safety with breech-loading guns. I define blowing down the barrel of a traditional single-barrel muzzleloading gun as follows. Immediately after discharging a single-barrel muzzleloading firearm, place the butt of the gun on the ground and blow forcefully down the end of the barrel. As you do this, you must carefully observe the gun's touch hole or nipple to confirm that smoke and air are coming out and the barrel is not blocked. If no air or smoke is observed, the cause must be determined and remedied before shooting again. On the other hand, if smoke continues to come from the touch hole or nipple as you blow, this means that there is a bit of patching that is still smoldering in the barrel, and continued blowing is needed until there is no smoke. Blowing down the barrel after firing is done in the expectation that problems will be identified and solved before they cause trouble. Every year at major shooting matches, unexpected ignition of powder occurs on being dumped down the barrel because of smoldering powder or patching material left down there. Additionally, barrels obstructed by patching material can be quickly identified and remedied. Swabbing the bore after each shot does not solve the problem. Patent breaches especially are notoriously prone to this. Blowing down the barrel, as I have defined it, cannot cause direct injury to anyone. The discharge of a gun is unmistakable. It is impossible for a single-barrel muzzleloader once shot to be fired again without reloading. For people opposed to my blowing down the barrel, what part of the word impossible don't you understand? It is possible that uneducated people may see shooters blowing down the barrel and that they will then imitate this practice in situations where it is indeed foolishly dangerous, such as with a hang fire. The best and only solution to this sort of problem is a thorough safety education of all people who shoot muzzleloaders. My decision to practice blowing down the barrel, as I have defined it, is a rational one that made after considering the benefits of the practice. Fearful people who get the heebie-jeebies about blowing down the barrel without considering its benefits are simply being irrational. I don't know about you, but given the choice of being with a rational group of people or with an irrational group, I go with the non-crazies every time. People who object to blowing down the barrel of a traditional muzzleloader undervalue its benefits out of the theoretical fear of possible harm, or else they are like the paper punchers at the National Muzzleloading Rifle Association, who apparently have listened to the fears of the liability lawyers and have ignored the benefits to shooters of blowing down the barrel. If you ever handle or load a muzzleloader incorrectly, it is a clear warning sign that you have become distracted and careless. Be safe.